Hello, welcome to Tech Globe Map. Talking about a nation, talking about a nation in a continent, as a culture, and many cultures. What is universal? On the 13th of April 2026, where the third week of the month goes always for what is the cover, the constitution of the human site, which is the makeup also, not just how you look naturally, also how your creative form shows as an image through your work, what you do to yourself, if you have space to take care of yourself and time, and also money to buy certain products and maintain that space or acquire it as well. So we might be born in a scenario, but is this is about our family and the values that conform ourselves as an individual. And that cover is not just superficial, it also has to do with the way we relate with the cover and the perception of others, wherever they speak the same language, or they have a translator, or they have acquired that sense of understanding throughout many, many forms of expression that can be studied through science, through other religions, through sports and dance, becoming multicultural, comparing as well higher states of peacefulness, higher states of the mind naturally, alone, with another, and with a family, could be yours or not, state of awareness, the state of double phase awareness, how some people can compartmentalize in a more sophisticated manner, not mixing situations and things to how we conform ourselves to be in one place or another. It's not the moment, time, or compartmentalize in a very bad and wrong manner, because it's a compartmentalized society, and some people are still learning. So, what is the word of the week? The word of the week, I thought, for what's going on in the world and what's happened last weeks in this part of the world, I heard the word power from the Pope that needs to be, that suppressed and needs to be freed. So I feel, well, that's more for the environment, because some people don't have the environment. No matter what they do, they will keep complaining on others generation after generation instead of being creative with themselves. You can see that in their architecture. You can see that in their scenario. You can see in the performance of their power. I also thought performance for those who look for stability. Right. So, how can you perform to have inner stability? Do you want outer stability as a form of power, or do you want power to acquire other people's stability under your cover? Are you an image towards that stability? Do you procure stability? Do you help others or you just want that for you? So we see how we're relating as well, because people are thinking like that in that way now, women as well. Women now are thinking, yes, I can give you stability and everything you require around you to have that image and procure for everything around you to look so good and well behave towards society, because I will take care of your house and how you look and everything and provide you a kingdom that loves you or a village in your society. I will provide you a beautiful home when you come. There is warm food and everything is beautiful and clean, and you will have a new like suits that's ironed so you go out to work, and I will welcome you home and treat you as a king so you renovate and feel nourished and give you all my energy. I give you a massage as well because you came from work and are tired, and I've been preparing all this for you with devotion and happiness. So you see your children and what they have to say as well when they don't listen to me. Is this kind of cover you want to talk about when you mean of stability? For the person that said stability many times, stable. So, well, I thought mercy is a beautiful word after yesterday. That was the day of divine mercy. And I was already thinking before that, as I just sit down or lay down and just let it come to me with the troubles when I lived in the Middle East, how the madam said, the refugees, like if I was some sort of like insect, because I wanted to go and help the refugees in Jordan on my free day. And I was working for free in the weekend. That was not in the contract. So I was also, I did it by my own free will because I was afraid of leaving the toddlers with the nanny that was there before. And I asked her to stay, so she's my assistant. She was gonna get kicked out from the work and return to Philippines. And my salary was 4 times more. But still, I thought, look, um, the twins, if they run away from me, I cannot run. Doesn't matter, I'm the best nanny in the world. I cannot run in opposite directions. I will have to choose one side. So whatever they're taking a shower, or I'm teaching them to swim, or well, God knows, she was very well organized. They have infinite money, so she stayed. I knew she was going to return home, and she wanted her job. So I had mercy towards her, and I taught her how to be a better nanny. I never told the madam the horrible thing she would do to her children. It's very, I've never talked about having mercy myself because then it just kills the whole thing. It's not like, it's like showing off or having mercy. It's not the way you portray yourself with, oh, only Jesus has mercy. It's not like, oh, I have pity over you. No, it's not. No. I saw many people meeting, but not really they care for the refugees. It's like they had all this money from international affairs, but they didn't really care about the refugees. They were still there for 5 years and more, the refugees from Syria. So I was gone. It's 3:13 p.m. on the 30th of April. For this Monday, the word of the week is mercy and accepting God's will. Sometimes I bring the impression of a vomit, and basically I was vomiting before last night. Also vomiting the way I was see, seeing myself sharing all the problems in the world. And I was just vomiting for what I have become. Because from all I'm talking about the problems from people that make these problems and trying to make them think from their way to also think in other ways so they pick up what is better for them. So there's a better outcome for themselves as well. Um, yeah, I was going to talk about power for this week and stability. Another month we can talk about that beauty because it's appealing. Other different types of beauty, right? That's where we complement each other. Huh? We cannot all make beautiful paintings like Michelangelo or other cultures. So some religions compare Christianity because Christianity has expanded so much, and they think it's because the imaginary they've created with their power. They had more power. Power of what? It was the power of mercy. And yes, there are many mistakes because not everyone has mercy because it's a Christian. Many people go because they want to have power, so they will give them lives to go in a colony and come back so they have a castle, but later on they just love the adventure and return back to the jungle. So you might think all that power is lost. It could have been a contest or a con. I don't know how to you pronounce. But sometimes it's cool to go where nobody is there, and just by having other people looking at you, like, what are you? You know, it's not an act of mercy when you mix it with adventure, excitement, with the unknown, with meeting people and being a bit goofy and playful, because no one is watching you in your continent. Yeah. So you become a bit more childhood because we were all children before learning to speak and rationalize what's power. So coming back to the common sense, children have an innate mercy because they are receptive like sponge. Yeah. So they give you the opportunity to be the better person of yourself for them, especially when they are your children. You won't go to an adult and talk like that, right? Or behave like that or perform because you have to protect yourself from adults, no matter how good you are to them. Mercy can be translated as solidarity. So there you have mercy. That's beautiful. Divine mercy. I had to write it again. It's to the Brown. It can be very constructive. People don't see that in the, oh, because it's generous. generosity. Many people like to have validation because they are generous. It's a great power to give. It's more difficult to receive. You may have no one to criticize you, but you do have me. And it doesn't come for cheap because it is painful. When no one has judged you, you know who you are. Maybe you're your brother, a little, just a little fight of one day, an afternoon, an evening, just maybe a rush of a few minutes that has agglomerated throughout comparisons and projections of who is more powerful. So that is a critic, and you will show who has more power. That's a game of life. We go on fighting each other for whatever reason. We do have in storytelling, because in the tech club map, you have to think about the map of your own verse, all right? And the many verses it has as well, whether they're historical or fictional. As for science fiction, because science fiction has never happened yet in the future. We're trying to not end up like in Star Wars and have a more, understanding the position of other cultures, understanding that we might be wrong on certain things, not a totalitarianism. Yeah. Because anyone that in another generation can get that power for certain reason that has hidden everything, maybe needs a critical from another country or another part, because sometimes its own would never bring down something that was fashion but is not good for the benefit of the people on a long term and middle term. Yeah, not in a short term to them if they have the awareness to pick. But there are many people that don't have awareness because they're children. So it's not that you have mercy onto them, but you have something like that. You wish to take care of them, give them good guidance, make sure they will mature throughout all their growth. Sometimes many parents give everything they have. I go to work for free food, so that's how I ended up vomiting because I ate something that perhaps was out of date. I just hate the way I've become from having more than two people working in the house and also a private driver and having so much wealth. I think of all the education my mother has provided and my father. Um, my father had a school of cinema, Escuela de Altos Estudios Cinematográficos in Caracas. And I went there, of course. That's how I ended up in New York. I'm not really editing, as I know. We used to have an edition studio in the school before digital came, and my father would talk of the advancements of digital and what it would get lost because of the timing that takes to premeditate because you will help the edition to be better when you have slow motion as it was in the analog time. So many times I went to schools of edition and I didn't want to learn the old ways because they teach you the history as well. And I'm like, please, I have already know this. But the rest of the people didn't know. And I said, you don't need to learn the past. Just got my computer on it. It did, right? So I just went there for nothing. I already knew that. Then I had a Japanese boyfriend that was born in Hawaii, in New York City. Well, he was like a friend with free time to do whatever, and I learned a lot from him. He worked in Nickelodeon with illustration, making comics. Um, I was very sorry that I couldn't be his girlfriend because, I have a daughter and it's very expensive to live in New York. So I was in my 20s. I had to be free. I wanted to study as well, be with my friends, go to dance. He came to dance one time, but he was very mental. He had a good body for martial arts, but I think it's very mental as well. It's not very flowing. Um, and I couldn't compromise with anyone really. As much as I loved and was loved with equality and never promised anything I couldn't give. And I never said what would be boyfriends. I would say just for today or just for the moment, all right? So people can just feel infinite as I would. And I was not after a rich person either. I have people who lied to me and they were married. So that was it. Why would I make another person suffer because of me? Unless the person wants to suffer because he made another person suffer. I don't want to be involved with that story. It's not my. So it doesn't matter if you have more money or less. It's the same. Some people love to have sex thinking they are better. There is an aberration there. Many people do that, make the other person think they're better. So they fight in bed to prove them they're better. So they have wives and lovers fighting to prove them they're better. Um, it's normal in the youth when they want to be the boyfriend, so they want to be better than anyone and show you that they have more performance. There is a higher state of love that mercy has when you're not really looking at about any of these things. So the Pope is in Algeria. It's very beautiful to see them. I couldn't understand what they were talking about because they were talking in their language. And I had tried to put the translation to English to Spanish. I went to the French channel as well to be able to understand in French. So, because it was a French colony as well. And it just was a bit insultive to not welcome the Pope uh, in a global language where you can understand each other as the world is watching as well. But there is a welcome and a gathering. In my perspective, it's very sad the Muslim world has taken over Christian places that have been built from Christians. And they resent to call it a colony, but they took everything, right? So it would be nice to say, can you just walk off and then we can talk about resentment? You don't have mercy towards your people. The madam in Jordan had no mercy or love on that sense. It's very hard to find somebody that has that. You can do that with characters online, and just role play Holy Mary, or your friend role playing Jesus. And he wants to make all this because I wish I could be there. I have so many ideas as well. So I was gardening today and thought of just coming to talk about the word of the week. That is mercy. And in a form of ways, performance as well. But it can be a performance that is without doing anything. That is when you see the effect that has lasted throughout centuries. As mythological for other religions that were there before the Christians came, or the Muslim, there are still character traits there that have been a foundation. And we also have the capacity to create new stories. New stories. So the more you play in the multiverse, the more you see by your own creation and choice of creating that you also have a share map in the virtual reality. And how important is in real life to respect one another. If you don't have mercy, at least respect. You cannot ask people to have mercy, so you have clemency. Have clemency, not even because it's biology. Okay, another day I will come with the synonymous in this week for the cover. Um, we will have a percentage of people that flow throughout the stations where there is a globe map on each continent. If its continent is so big, it could have two, because also the culture, yeah, or the blend of cultures. So this is not a war of making more people your religion. Like the people of Algeria could be the last people in the world. I will want for them to have. Uh, but they were the worst people as Hoovers driving to deliver the food from McDonald's. They were very aggressive, and this is why so many people left Algeria, and only 1 or 2% are Christian there because of the aggression and the harassment. And if you just listen the way people speak, they are not speaking from a tone of mercy or gratefulness or generosity of reuniting with, but also knowing they can have that as well. as we pork or vomit from so much to cleanse ourselves. Now, if you're working in an environment where thieves and lies, you must be direct. You can go around talking nicely, but it is well tracked and recorded that you have talked nicely about this for 1 year. So there is a question that there is there understanding when people are talking about this? Like there's no thought for another person, but you will assume to criticize and make lies. This is within the Christian world as well. We have these people. So do not misunderstand the stage and the cover of compassion one has. There is no need to be a martyr for Christians anymore. We don't need to give ourselves for others. They have all the tools in the world to be creative and understand what is giving the trust and returning the trust. Yeah. What is credit as a form of trust that they will gain with their work? The days of yesterday where slavery exists are over. So that is a state of solidarity for those who do not understand what is mercy. So yes, it's a spiritual state. When I was in India, 3 years, over 6 months in the ashram for 1 year. And I understood the difference between these beautiful people working together for free and creating, because everything invests for itself. People are working for free. I thought this is wrong. There must be a sense of property. You cannot have people working for free. Then you will have communism and tyranny. And that's what happened in the end. Because they had nothing for children. It was just for themselves, for constructing. So that's why I have not really taken constructing as architecture for the construct of the cover, which is all based of healthy narcissism that we need. I wanted to bring connotation of mercy. How well narcissism is connected to mercy on the other stream. So he's looking for mercy in the good people, aware, both sides aware or unconscious in the most unconscious and primitive manner of meeting together with the polarity. So both share the narrative from within out and the covers from every polarity that has different constructs of narcissism to protect itself. So it's like, yes, I will have this power and mercy to not be attacked, but I will perhaps put the most narcissist person on this earth to protect my work, and the work of so many. Because all those who have mercy might not make it. There's not enough people to exorcise an evil, and we need to transform that which is ignorance. That can only happen through mercy. You don't see a Jesus wanting anything more but that. We will wish to cast away people that are sick, uncultured, ignorant in the better sense of the word, when they think they're high class. Um, their English is just of a peasant, but you cannot say that, hey, where would you find mercy? In the high class, in the low class, under a rock? You can look for characters all around. How plants grow towards the sun without killing each other. Well, some do, because they take over their terrain. So, but they grow towards the light when they have the space. They grow all towards the light without fighting with each other. So they have a sort of mercy. You can look at this, the beauty of the lights and the sunshine when it rains in spring, like right now. So beautiful. So beautiful. I don't know if you can see that from here. Yeah. It's merciful to have rain. I think some countries have been cursed without rain. They have cursed themselves. They have beautiful greens and waters and animals and people. Oh well, we might have mercy. Let's look into what is mercy. Because you might want others to have mercy for you. But do you have mercy not over others, but for others? And that is the best narrative that can save you. In the sense of equality and why hierarchy exists to provide. When some people don't understand, they have to be stopped from these wars. As preparing, you had all the movies of science fiction to premeditate how we're going to end. So go and pick your movies. If you didn't like this ending because this happened, premeditate something. You want Robocop to come from the past, from the future into the past? You have already masterminds who have created you millionaire movies with so many talented people and script writers to think together. What is the kind of future that you want together as an intelligent human species? Let's have mercy over ourselves because we need to protect ourselves at the same time, knowing how we are with one another. All right? And I like to hear that word. Doesn't matter how powerful or beautiful you are. At the end of the road is how many roads you left for others to have a better life. And did that come from your own joy? You can assure the transformation is always there, even if you don't do anything. It's always there as an invitation because we all have that. It's contagious and it giggles inside. Not as a pervert, sort of like Machiavellian inner laughter, but sort of a little bit. You gotta you gotta have a little bit of a plan, the plan of God to laugh about it, because at the end, people pick People pick what is better for them. And imagine if the people of Iran knew of whom the Sufis were. The Muslim doesn't know about the Sufis. I sometimes stop and think, oh, well, but I think you don't know the Sufis. I cannot have a dialogue with you then, because they respond to me fighting here in London. I am just sharing because I love the Sufis, right? It's like when you share your favorite dish or so what do you do there? You show them the power of your knowledge and perform better. So that moment you stop, you have perhaps an unconscious beauty of admiring their growth into something that is where becoming beautiful without judgment. And that is mercy. Because the Sufis, as the Rumis, most would not record their poetry. Many were delusional stories as well. They would just share in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, I listen to all the story, and sometimes I see you are talking about something else as well, and what the average person will understand, and what other people would also listen. But I also listen to what is it that you want most from all this. Yeah. In my dreams, I remember my boyfriend for 7 years or six, because we were friends for 1 year. So nice. Just want to go outside. So he might have been Claudius the First, an emperor. And his mother manipulated him all his life to become an emperor. Then, well, he ended up in Europe. And his wife killed him. So his next life, all he did was just, all he wished was to make love endlessly. Because he was controlled to not do it. He had to run through jealousies and manipulations. So he thought, well, I might just be black person. That's the best, I guess, to have sexual power and play music because it's more attractive as well. And just that's all I want. I don't want to care about any of this empire and manipulations. I want to be free, fucking anyone who wants to be fucked. I won't rape anyone. I'll be with adults. Perhaps I'll be with adult young woman when I'm older. Who knows? I wish him I wish him that his dick doesn't get up when he's older, so at least he can reach his heart and have some mercy. Because it's such a tender, pure love to love from that stage and allow other people to love as they learn to love. Eventually, when you find higher sources of love and energy, you will wish every matter to find mercy and how multiplying it is in unaware ways, unknown ways. How does this come through? One of the names of Allah in the Muslim or Arab world is the merciful. Would the people of this religion have mercy on themselves and stop these attacks? Because they are creating the Jews to destroy them. The Jews have been pushed to this limit through so many terrorist attacks. So when I was vomiting, I was really, I don't want to be a therapist. I don't want to be a sociologist about people's sociological problems, cultural problems. I was just vomiting. Like, I've never wished to be this. I was so disgusted by myself talking about other people's problems and having to listen to that as well. I was like, really, God? So you want me to be in paradise, but I have to work for it? Just vomiting out of, out of my system. I cannot eat that. Being treated also in this way. But I want my children to have the money to feel their parents love them. And I love them in a material way. And they can enjoy what material things can offer them. And I have mercy over myself when I go to eat to these places with the homeless. I have mercy over myself. And that is a higher power that is transformative and it heals yourself as well and others. I didn't want to heal people. I could heal, have taken cyst out. I don't want my daughter to study massage and Reiki and healing because it will come back. It comes back with the people's. They have made this again and again, so it doesn't matter what you do, it will return because they have a pathology, they have to look into it. So if other people have the power to have mercy towards themselves, compassion to heal themselves, to take care of themselves, yeah, like I take care of my body and my garden, and if we go out of my outer self, you will find this you're more comfortable and homey in your state of being. Okay. So peace is something we question, the state of peacefulness in a kingdom of peacefulness. If China has for Asia, because India and Nepal has different language, so they should have another globe map there. If China have for Asia, the they should respect Taiwan, stop fighting or creating problems. And if they want to have their a center for a global place to reunite with the influencers of the world as well, it'd be nice to have on talks. It'd be nice, it's a request. Sometimes I give a command and an order, but there are other people who deliver the orders and refine them to the right place. and they talk together how is to be done with the right clauses. So it would be nice to talk about when we see the map where all the places. There's a book, I didn't buy it because I don't have the money, but I will buy it when I can. All the places in the world that are still claimed. Yeah. So we can see all these places. Maybe we can create something there. The electronically with their passport ID and taxes can belong to both places, but can belong to the ones that it's just really understanding the perhaps in 100 years as people can talk about that what's being made there and to let Ukraine be in peace for a reunification. So there is much injustice for some leaders toward their people, sending them to die. So they might have mercy towards their own enemies as well and find better terms with each other's mercy. It's better to share one Ukraine than to divide uh, a state or country. Doesn't matter how you call it. I would rather share it than cut it, right? Um, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to relate with so much anger and wars. There is no hope that is left when you lost your energy to fight, unless you left the country or change yourself for their harassments. So you survive, even though many families would say, just keep it easy, not talking about it. We will be alive, we will eat, and we will have our home, and that is all that matters. So that is a way to survive. We're having mercy towards freedom of expression, to express ourselves with the highest class possible and the lowest as well. When you get to become aware of it, it's beautiful to enjoy the simple things as well. The wilderness, how we have created a performance to honor the past, to honor the present, and to honor the future. So we can be here doing the same thing until we die because our children will take power. There's no generation that's going to be stuck forever, ever. Always trust that the new generation is learning something new, moving already ahead in the same way we had. And we might stop learning. mm, When artists have only learned one art, it's very difficult to break through and learn many other arts, forms of expression, right? Have mercy if you're stuck in only one form of art, the same loop. So, well, you have a friend, is unconditional for the present mission. It is uncomfortable, of course, because there are better ways of relating. Mercy can become very prideful because I am better, because I know more, because I have experienced so many tones and arts and textures and tastes and places unrelated so far, so on, with the care of so many masters, professors, priests, nuns, associatives. So it can be a very arrogant and disdain form of saying, I'm better than you. Have my compassion. You have pity for me. I pity you. It's wounding. First, because you have to relate with an ignorant. But Christians have been so in so many places for so many generations that they have cultivated that into a more transcendental, like, it doesn't matter. I'm still living in heaven like a delusional. Have mercy or not is there. Because it doesn't matter. You will read it somewhere sometime. The your own where does the room is the Sufis come from? And that's your story. If you want to be in your side of the story, you will find the truth. In the moment, they will keep fighting, but it will be lingering there where you are dancing and smiling and happy, because that's the road you chose and the state of mind to be. Because you were also once a child, not of a childlike innocence, but of a childlike ignorance. And you wanted to know. So there is something there that we'll want to know one day. And we'll know. And we'll say, the Muslims are more than this. The Sufis might have said, yeah, because they didn't want to fight. Yeah. They wanted to be protected from the savages. So why fight them, right? And in the same way, the people of Zarathustra. But those are stories of the past. Right now, we'll see if China wants to have their place for Asia, respecting Taiwan. It would be nice, of course. I will be honest. There is freedom of expression in China. There is not so much slavery with the working class. Nothing is shipped around the world anymore. People can create their own goods. Chinese can work around the world as well with a universal coin and find more freedom while teaching others how to manage, construct things. Whatever, they will have an emperor again and spirituality. I don't know, because the emperors ruined China by casting away their religious people attacking their temples, sacking and destroying their poetry because they wanted people to pay taxes and work for the emperor. They thought they were a political party against. It had nothing to do with these people, totally on their own. So many went to Tibet. I don't know if China would be corrupted to change what's going on in tech globe map from their own map. But we will have 15% of people that will be able to go around the world and see the data that is true. All right. I think that countries that have more educated people, like the black people in the United States of America, can go to Africa because they have more education and they could provide more management with their own race by returning to Africa and learning what is mercy by all the people that had also mercy and gave them everything they have throughout the generations, their own family, working together better and better. They would not do that unto others. It would be better. So we must talk together about how many poor people are in the world and how many people are willing to listen to others and promote those who are more genius and have better solutions. This is to reunite for the next generation. We will be able to multiply that and have a time to prove it's not just a theory that it works. So the problem of having people being so polarized because they become from one side of a conditioning because they belong to this political party or they belong from this business. So like gasoline against batteries because some are investing and the other industries investing on that. So they're making all these companies fight and to take their goods away from the world or United Nations. So imagine all these companies that are coming out of United Nations losing all their power and other companies taking over because they didn't want to have mercy on what is sustainability in their companies to work together for human rights as well. What would happen when the world gave you everything and you do not have mercy to the world? You think because a political party wants to rule the world with domination and violence, you will come out of the United Nations, things like that. So we're not thinking together for what matters most. We're being polarized because of a company, because this person hired me, because I am from this religion, I am from this other religion, for things that happened thousands of years ago, and you're gonna keep banging with that. So please, this is your chance and only chance to look forward in better terms. You talk about it. If you have the balls, if you have your ovaries on your place, doesn't matter. If you only like men, being a man. That's your privacy. Just listen to these words. Listen to these words. I'm sorry you hate women because they were frustrated. They look ugly and they are repressed. They have nothing else to do. You like to be with someone that is understanding as you are. So you'd rather be with another man being a man because you cannot even divorce. You cannot even have a woman of your own choice as you wish that woman to be. Well, you practice the same religion, it's more acceptable to have lovers and hide it. So, what's the point of subjugating others, hiding what you do? I am talking about very deep things where you rather become celibate and love. You will wonder who loves you and at the same time keep loving with celibacy. It helps to have mercy. So people have been celibate in past lives by free will. Many people have chosen celibacy or to go to a monastery or a nun conservatory because they have been traumatized in childhood. So you will see they have a mental illness in the family. That is the brother or one of the parents. It's very strong. So they can only find refuge in God. And I want you to see this because it does affect the church. Um, you are not better than others when you come to give yourself with these conditions. You think others are crazy, but you have the energy connection towards all that's crazy because you were born in that. The monastery is not going to save it. So many go to extreme situations. You will find them in different churches that go to play service in third world countries that are known as developing countries now. But we can free from these miseries and understand. We can welcome many people that like to give themselves with devotion to serve and learn what is it to practice having a better voice. You need decades to practice your voice, praying with the tones of mercy and compassion, ecclesiastical voice, singing in the choir. It takes a lot of discipline. There are meditations also that are for the sounds and where its sounds come from the emotions. I am grateful to have studied music and perform music, and I would love to keep my agenda full and go out. Recovering from avoidant personality disorder that was created from trauma as an adult. The When they took my children away, I've been traumatized. So I will have to still work with what is being a victim, with the victims of the world. The person who's hurt you has been a victim as well. No one has chosen to hurt others. If it is to defend a cause, of course, you know, I would give many people in the Middle East believe the mercy and goodness of the Christian is an excuse to take over. Oh, let them think they're superior. That's what they say, right? Let them think they're superior. We're gonna take over. This is so it is not easy. It's very hard. But they will be deported, even if they were born here for a fourth generation and are mixed. And this would also happen on any other part of the world if you behave in these ways. All right? Mercy with understanding, because you're merciful, it doesn't mean you're going to create a martyr. They wanted to create martyrs to have the acclaim of the world because they're victims. This is what they told me when I was in the Middle East. People tell me things. People tell me the truth. I was not talkative. I was a friend, but I was more like I will imagine that I was a guardian angel to take care of them in silence. So I take care of their toddlers. And when the parents are there, I would just be in silence, letting them be in their own home mansion. And I can understand from their perspective how much goodness and freedom they need. Because the father was from Palestine, his father, not him, he was born in Jordan. So would they have mercy on their Palestinian people? Instead of investing in killing so many Jews from Gaza? This is an ongoing story. How can you talk with a crazy person? You have to become crazy, but the it's then making everyone crazy as well. There comes a time when a crazy person sees another crazy and says, I'm not gonna be crazy as that. That's how that's how I help my husband to see the truth of what is it to be here right now in this generation. And in that moment, he said, no, I'm not going to do that. I didn't do it through me, of course, because people have an idea of what you are, or they want to put an idea of what you are. But we are infinite. We are infinite. Role players know that. So you can go as far trying to make believe anyone. That's how we build verses with our imagination into reality for others to be creative. You must cast away beliefs so you want to be more powerful and well known as the only one who's done it. Because in the rest of the memory in of the future, you will be recorded as the only one who brought all the world together by erasing me and hating me because you did it all alone. There's no person that can do anything alone, right? Have mercy. Bye. Peace.